That's gonna suck, but whatever. Hey, welcome back. I don't know why that happened, but it did. Right when I was doing the Albert Wesker voice too, so maybe that's a sign not to do the Albert Wesker voice. So it turns out that Albert Wesker's a bad guy, and he dies. What's the real sign? Will you stop meowing? Oh? Really? So you're telling me, and I'm just gonna check something here. Hold on. I don't like going to my own thing, but thankfully I have the browser muted, right? So you can't hear it. Oh, look at that. Dang. I hope that stays. Because it's like a big thing for me. I want to be able to play in 1080p, but then we have where you could change it down in quality. But oh well. I can't believe that it died on me though. That's annoying. Anyway, back to our fun little jaunt here. So, why are you meowing? Oh, you're gonna get kicked out now. I'm sorry, cat. Guess what? It's okay. Okay. We're back for more fun. Welcome everybody who's come back after the little blip there. I don't even know what's going on with that, but oh, we got one of these. Aw. Well, that's okay, Oreo. Thank you for coming by, though. I really appreciate it. Dang it. You have a nice night. Why? Really? If this is the wrong one. Oh, nice. I saved myself. I was about to say. Okay, so this is the story about a girl who saw some zombies and cried a lot. Oh, look at that! That is so cool. Does it fall over? It does! Okay, so find out Wesker's bad. We had two characters there. We had Jill Valentine on Stars, and then we had Chris Redfield. They do their thing, and they come back to Raccoon City, which is by those mountains in that mansion. And, like, it gets swept under the rug, basically. Because Umbrella owns, like, everything. So what happens is that, given that Umbrella owns... Oh, no. Given that Umbrella owns everything, and the police chief is really corrupt, like, they don't really go too into it too much. Which is a shame, but hey, that's how Mafia works. So, after all that kerfuffle, what happens next is that they start their plan to, like, investigate Umbrella. Chris heads out to Europe, and Jill sticks around, but she has an escape plan as well. During this time, though, a new virus is released, the G virus, which is the cause of this whole game here. And with that, we get the events here where Claire Redfield is looking for her brother. Leon is starting his first day at work, which is probably, I'd say, next to maybe somebody transferring to someplace that gets bombed on their first day of work. It's like a crap day for your first day of work. And then we go to this police department here. I'm really, like, recapping, I guess, this game too. So we go to the police station. We got this guy, who's in the original game too. Silent, but deadly. Ow. Jerk. And, we don't know what his true deal is. It could be that he's killing witnesses. It also could be that he is trying to track down a sample of the G virus. Now, surprisingly, there's only one we get to see. But in actuality, these things are, like, everywhere in town or something. According to some lore. There's multiple versions of this dude. So, we go through the police station, we find out the police chief is a pervert and a creep. He gets infected with the G virus. We meet this little girl, and she gets infected with the G virus, but not at the same time as the chief. We do some other stuff. Man. God. I ran right out of that one. So, yeah. Oh, there's a herb in here. Isn't there a locked door? Yep. Uh-oh. Oh no. When it rains, it pours. The game has frozen. Oh man. We're experiencing some technical difficulties. Where's my mouse? There it is. We're gonna turn this off for right now. Yeah, that drowned stuff. Did I lose? No, the game just closed. So... what in the world? Honestly. Okie dokie. Well, let's start it up again. Why not? I apologize for the technical issues of a game that we've basically already played through the story. Oh, we're gonna try. Oh, nice. It actually says Resident Evil. I have no clue where I'm at. Oh. Okay. Man, oh man, I think we might be in luck. Yep. Not a lot of progress left. That was good. They're nice. Yeah, I don't know why it did that. I don't know if it was because I had like a browser still open that had Twitch. Oh, I still need this. Where is it? There we go. Really, game? There we go. I have my little cheat sheet for speedrunning. Because the game does not feature any RNG on the puzzles, so... it could be my fault, though. It could not be my fault either, you know, either way. It's annoying. It's fine. Oh man, he caught some air that time. Nice. I wouldn't think that there'd be anything that I'm doing that's causing the game to hate me, right? No, I'm just trying to get back to the point that I was at. Okay, so you go to the police station, you find out the police chief's a pervert, he gets infected. We, meet up with this guy, like, several times. We meet up with this other guy, who's got, like, a giant eyeball on his arm. And we also get to meet the Lickers for the first time in the series, and they're a pain in the butt. We meet Sherry Birkin. We find out that Sherry Birkin is actually the big eyeball creature's daughter. And we find out that he wasn't a good dad in the first place because he dedicated all of his time to working rather than paying attention to his child. He had dreams of ruling the world with the virus, which in the end bit him in the butt. Because Umbrella's Special Forces guys came and accidentally shot him. Well, I wouldn't say accidentally, he did pull out a gun. But, you know, they could have kneecapped him or something. Mainly because they could have used, you know, his knowledge and everything. So then, after we get through the police department, we go through a sewer, and it does not look as good as the sewer in this game, but, you know, this game came out in the 90s, so... So then, we go through the sewers. We don't even run into Leon, which is sad. We do run into the girl's mom at some point in time. And she sucks too, just like the dad. After getting through the sewer... Oh, wait. There's a pivotal part in the sewer, right? So the dad infects his daughter because apparently the G-Virus wants to propagate with, blood relatives. So, you know, a child has a really good match DNA-wise compared to, say, like a spouse. So, he infects her. We have to go rescue her. After which, we, make our way to the lab, which is underground. First, we have to go through this little warehouse thing. And we get, like, a awesome cattle prod as a weapon. It does make a reappearance in this game, but it's not as, powerful. I mean, I don't think it's as powerful. I could have sworn when I played it originally, like, that thing would arc between two different zombies, but I could be wrong. Anyway, we go through all this rigmarole. We have to, like, turn a tram on. And... gosh. Get a battery or some crap. And on top of that, while this is all happening, in the A story, you're not even chased by the tyrant guy. I mean, that Mr. X. It's only in the B side, in the original. Which I think that in this version, it's better to have him because you just have that sense of, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Whereas in the original one, you only got that in the second one. Now, after we finally get the tram working and all that, we go down this elevator. And we get to go to a lab. And the lab is just filled with zombies and, like, plant monsters. There's even a section where you go through a stairwell. And there's this giant plant, which they don't even elaborate on. They're just like, yeah, it's just a giant old plant. So you go through there. And guess what? There's another boss fight with Birkin. Because clearly you need to do that. And you end up, I think, no. You don't fully kill him, of course, but you take him out, and then, oh no, the lab's gonna explode. You make the vaccine for the... Oh wait, you make the vaccine before the lab's gonna explode. It would have been cooler if you had to make the vaccine with a countdown, but they didn't implement that. So you have to make the vaccine, and you rescue the little girl. Meanwhile, we have no clue what Leon's been up to, but as we escape, Leon joins us on a train. And I did not grab the right thing. So, with that being said, you get to play the second disc of Resident Evil 2 and play like the B story, which is kind of like what we're doing here, with the exception that it's slightly better, I guess. I don't know. It's okay. I think this one does it better, but you get to play Leon's story, or Claire's story if you played as Leon. And you get to go through the whole thing again, going through the police station. But as Leon, he meets the femme fatale, Ada Wong, who lies to him and says that she's looking for her boyfriend. And really, she's looking for the virus to make money. So, Leon, in the original game, just falls head over heels for her and gets Twitter pated about her. But he's like, yeah, I'll help you. I gotta help you find your boyfriend. Maybe there's a chance. He doesn't say that, but, you know, I think it's kind of implied. Especially when she's like, oh, my boyfriend's probably dead. Anyway. Okay. So, Ada Wong's with him. You go through the police station, you meet up with Ada Wong in the sewer. You get shot at by the mom of Jerry. And then you play as Ada for a little bit. Doing stuff. I don't remember in the original. In this one, you do cute. You get a cool hacking tool thing, which would have been cool if they made that section longer, but have a better gun. So she eventually gets whatever she's trying to accomplish done. As I don't remember what it was in the original one. They could have. They should. They should make a Resident Evil. Jake Mueller becomes president. I don't know. I mean, if he's born in the States, he might be able to run. Unless they just go full out and be like, yeah, it's a different universe, we don't care. Okay. There we go. So, Ada Wong comes back or something, and our boy Leon's patched up. He goes through the sewer. He fights a big alligator.
You'll find it.
Sherry, all right?
Possibly. I don't know. We still have the COVID virus, right? So, unless this is the sequel, I don't really know.
If you just have...
Oh, good. This section. Okay, so Ada Wong getting patched up. So, as Leon, you're now trying to get to the lab too. because reasons. Let's see, I'm trying to find the right one here. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's not the right one. Crap. Okay, I'm still thinking of the story, so give me just a few seconds. So he goes through kind of the same stuff that Claire went through to get to the lab. And brain is gone. I think there's only one circle, square. Oh no, there's that one too. Yeah, hold on. Show me the picture. That's all I really need is the picture, you doofy walkthrough. Oh, okay. It's a circle, crap. Well, it's definitely not that one. Is it this one? No. See, I'm more of a fan of Claire. Myself, I liked Claire. And Jill. Those are the ones that I like. But I guess it's just because I don't know.
Is this?
I don't find what's her name is. Oh, and Rebecca. But I don't know if I say Rebecca, is that, you know, kind of predatory? I mean, she was 18 then. And I guess when I was younger playing this game. I don't know. It's a video game. But Ada Wong did Leon wrong, like, on multiple occasions, and he still was like, yeah. Okay, so now that we're getting closer to a part where I can actually think more, Leon goes to the lab and helps secure a sample. After which, we, do stuff. After which, the lab, of course, is going to blow up. Since we're in the B story, we get to fight Mr. X, who's been, like, stalking after us. And on, like, an elevator in our climactic fight with him, We get a rocket launcher from somebody who we thought fell to their death. Also, we have to frantically start the train up to leave because otherwise there wouldn't be tension. So we do that, all that stuff. Then on the train, William Birkin, he's still there.
Where you going, Sherry?
And it turns out that after we kill it, it's still there. The train blows up,
You need to learn to listen.
and we leave a tunnel,
Leave me alone. Just
and we're just
please.
walking in like a field or
Time to
something.
teach some manners.
Oh, wait. Yeah, you deserve that.
You are gonna be so fucking sorry.
So that's basically Resident Evil 2 in a nutshell.
Help! Somebody, please.
Then we had Resident Evil 3, where you play as Jill, like a day or so after or before Resident Evil 2's events, and then like a couple days after the events from Resident Evil 2. What, 3? You know, 3 does have its moments, and the RNG, like, it's definitely not one to speedrun,
It's all
apparently,
over now.
because,
Doors
you know, you have a
locked.
chance of things screwing you over. I forget. Yeah, he comes over this way, I think.
Where are you? Show yourself. I know you're in here.
I think
The
they
longer
like
it
the
takes me to
whole
find you,
Marguerite
the
thing,
worse it's gonna
so
be.
they're like, yeah, we'll just add a Sherry Birkin thing where you had to sneak around. It was so cool in 7. He even has a light with him, right? Like Marguerite, she had a lamp. So Resident Evil 3, Jill is in preparation to leave because, you know,
Bitch has gotta be here somewhere.
all heck is breaking out, right? The thing is, she hasn't left yet, right? So as she's trying to survive the city, she meets up with Brad Vickers from Stars, and he totally dies. He tells her that, you know, there's something at the police station. I don't know. We have to go to the police station for something. I think it's just get the
This is your
lockpick,
last
to be
fucking
honest. I think
chance.
they're just like,
Show
yep,
yourself.
you gotta get a lockpick.
Now.
So you go there. Then, after we get the lockpick, and we make our way out,
It burns.
I'm sorry, I'm thinking of this section plus Resident Evil 3. So she's going through the police station and stuff, and it turns out that there is a new Mr. X called Nemesis hunting after STARS members exclusively,
Fuck is my key.
which is crazy, right? And this guy is like huge compared to the Nemesis that we fight here, which is Mr. X. In this game. So, like, right before you even go into the police station, the Nemesis totally kills Brad. Like, the Slurpee
I'm coming in, Sherry.
down the throat tentacle thing gets him.
Get over here, you little bitch.
Oh, that wasn't very nice to call a child. We good? We're good. So, you go to the police station. You get the lockpick. It's neat because you get to visit these places that later on Claire and Leon get to go to. Except the
wait,
fact
asshole.
that some of the things that you do don't sync up with the other, but hey, continuity's kind of a pain, right? So anyway, you do all that jazz, you get the lockpick, and then you follow this guy who's like a soldier guy. You're like, who's this dude? Well, it turns out the soldier guy is part of Umbrella's soldiers, security, or something like that. They're not the specialists that we saw in Resident Evil 2. They're like just grunts. And they're there apparently to well, they think they're there to rescue citizens, but more than likely it's just to tie up loose ends. As is the case in most, you know, virus cover-up stories, right? And she's like, I don't even know if I can trust you, because you were with Umbrella, and he's like, yeah, trust me, I'm just a guy. So, she kind of trusts him. They're trying to leave the city on a trolley.
You again?
And they need you to fix it. For some reason, you get to be the one to fix the trolley. So you get to go to different locations to get, like, gas and a spark plug and other crap. You eventually fix the tram. And while you're doing this, one of the, like, bosses...
Looks like it's the other way.
turns out to be kind of shady. But eventually, you get on the tram, and Nemesis shows up. He actually shows up a few times, but the big part is he shows up at the tram, and he attacks them, and you gotta fight for just a little bit, or you can leave the room, which is kind of funny. You do that crap. You jump off, and you end up, which I thought originally was a church, but it's a clock tower. Like, the sole purpose of the building is for this clock tower. And I always thought, when I was younger, that, oh yeah, we're going to, like, some fancy church. But it's not. So you go to the clock tower. You have some puzzles that you get to solve, which is really different, because for the most part in the game, there really haven't been difficult puzzles. You have to make a music box play a tune correctly so that it will open up, which is neat. You also get to either blind or electrocute the crap out of the tyrant, the Nemesis, which is cool. Unfortunately, in the remake, they took away the clock tower, so who knows how that's gonna go. After you, ring the bell, because that was gonna be the sign to say, hey, come and pick us up. After you do that, Nemesis shows up and shoots down the helicopter with a rocket. You get to fight him. And after a while, you get infected with the G-Virus. That's Jill. So then, you play as Carlos, which is pretty cool. You go to a hospital that has hunters, which... it's not the first time we get hunters, but it's the first time in that game, I believe, if I remember correctly, that you get hunters. And you go through the hospital. It's annoying. It's super annoying, because
Hello? I have the pendant.
at the hospital, it's close quarters, and the randomness of the game makes it either you're gonna get rushed by zombies or rushed by hunters.
Took too long.
You get to do a puzzle in there, one of those, you know, fill up a vial type of puzzles. Which also was fun. It was really fun there. And after we do that part, we... hold on. Oh. Do I not get to do it this way? Oh. I missed it. Silly me. So you get a vaccine made specifically for Jill. So she gets a vaccine for the G virus, which is pretty neat for her. Ah, this is really fighting against me, isn't it? That's fine. That's fine. We've been here before. We can do this again. I don't even know why it's freezing. Like, if you look, see, one of the big issues is hard drive space, right? Like, if I get too low, then the hard drive sometimes acts up, but the D drive is fine, which is where I have the dang game. Oh well. So, while we're waiting, I'll explain more of Resident Evil 3. So you go back as Carlos, you go get Jill, and she gets all... Go away. She gets all fixed up. Good to go. We go into... Probably... Wait, am I missing... The graveyard's in the park, right? Isn't that... Yeah, it is. Okay. So you go to a park as Jill. And when you first go through it, there's not very many zombies. There's like a zombie in a fountain area. You have to do a little puzzle in the something of Silent Hill to move cogs to drain this fountain so that you can move on. No, I am not thinking of Silent Hill. That is that game. So, you go through, you do that. It's really cool. You go to this like little shack thing. You find out that the head of the group that what's his face is working with, Carlos is working with. Yeah,
Hello?
turns out that
I have the pendant.
his boss is a jerk and he's like shooting other people. Kind of cover up the whole ordeal. Then you find out that the city is gonna get nuked. Like, your government. Yeah, Nikolai. He's a bad guy. We don't
Where are you?
get to fight him. He's in a helicopter, but
Sherry?
it's not the same. Anyway, so
Go, go, go!
we
Claire! It's behind you! Don't
no,
stop!
it's not. Don't lie. So we do this whole thing of going through this graveyard, and the coolest thing happens in the game.
Sherry, come on!
See, in the original one, the backgrounds are pre-rendered, and
Claire, are you alright?
zombies still would show up. Like, you couldn't tell if it was a spot where a zombie could spawn, but they, like, climb out
To get up. He's going
of
to get us.
the
Wake up!
map,
Wake
or
up!
out of the ground to get you. That was part of the coolness. The other part that was cool and annoying,
Wake up.
but cool, is there's this giant worm called the Gravedigger that's a boss fight. And you have to hold on, I'm getting my bearings here. You have to fight it to the point that either you use up a bunch of bullets on it, or you zap it with something. I have a cat meowing at me. Because the door is
Sherry?
shut.
Can you hear me?
So,
Now I'm gonna smell like shit.
you fight the Gravedigger, you get out, think you're safe, and you go to the next part, which is like a... You have to go through this bridge system, which looked really cool. And then you go to the suspension bridge to get over to a recycling plant of bodies, or body disposal plant.
Here?
And that's basically our lab setting for the game, and this is, Resident Evil had a lab. This one has a grenade in the face lab. It's a water treatment lab. Aww. So, after you go to the grenade in the face lab, and you heal, because you don't want to die. No. We're not gonna chance it. You meet up with Carlos again for a little bit, and he's not like Nikolai. He's not like his boss. He's actually a cool dude. He helps you out for a little bit, because you're about to, like, get attacked by several zombies, and you just guns them all down.
Hold on, Sherry. I'll be right there.
And hold on. I'm setting up the puzzle first here. Okay, the pawn's still in the right spot, but the knight goes here. Okay, so give me just a few seconds. Man, it says the power usage is very high for this game, which is kind of odd, because it's not really. Oh my gosh. Ah, that's nothing. Okay, everything's fine. Oh. Is it? Let's check something here, shall we? Nope. It's set like the way we need it to be. It's not. You know what we'll do? Just in case it, like, is just lying to us, we'll change the texture resolution to 4. There we go. Because I don't think it's running at 144 frames per second. Okay, so back to the story. We go to this water treatment plant. Carlos shows up. We get to fight Nemesis again. And this time it's in, like, this really cool test chamber thing that has anti-TNG virus type of toxin, antibody, whatever. Sci-fi stuff. Has some sci-fi liquid stuff. And you have to get him doused with it to, like, have him lose his arm and stuff. And it's a timed battle too, which is very neat. After you do that, you get a key so that you can go into this communications room where Nikolai has apparently ran into and then runs off from, and shoots at you with a helicopter. And if you have the right weapons, you can shoot the helicopter. Actually, no. I think you're just given a choice. You can shoot the helicopter down. And that changes a little bit of the story, but you get to either take him out or he flies off. I don't know which one's canon, but sure is satisfying to shoot him after he double crosses you like that. So then you get to go through this, like, incineration pit thing or something, as instead of a timer at first, we're getting told that some rockets are coming to destroy the town. And we get a, like, target finder that shows how far they are from the town, which acts as our timer. While doing this, we go through this room that has a railgun, like a large railgun, and it's used for your final fight against Nemesis,
Okay.
which is pretty awesome. An awesome fight.
Jesus. They're everywhere.
And in, true action form of that game, dang. The final fight with Nemesis, he acts like he dies, but he doesn't. You get the choice to gun him down or just leave. Which is cool, kind of. Oh, crap. I forgot about that guy. And that's basically Resident Evil 3. Oh, depending on your choices. See, that's one of the things that does make the game pretty cool. In Resident Evil 3, you actually have choices to make. Unlike, the way these games pan out. So it'll be like, do you want to go to this place or go to this other place? You have to choose, and depending on your choice will make a difference on different little outcomes, which is pretty neat. Also, depending on how you do things, the game has some random parts, so, not set in stone like this one is. I think the puzzles are kind of the same. Like, those don't change. And I don't know if I shot at, but... Well, that requires the king. What good is it to oh. No. No, that was silly. So, Resident Evil 3 is good. It was different, though, because it's just one disc. There's one character you play as, mainly. And... You just don't get that same feel as Resident Evil 2. But it's fun. And there's, like, several endings to get. Because, like, each time you beat it after the first one, you get, like, little epilogue. As if that was the end of the series, was, Resident Evil 3. Here's what happened to everybody. So it's that. Oh yeah, that's right, it did, didn't it? Mercenaries mode was pretty cool. See, Resident Evil 2 had some extra features as well, which was, I think, Battle Arena or Battle Mode or something. And it's basically you have to get to the police station and do something with bombs. And so basically, it's a rush to a certain spot with a set amount of ammo and everything. I believe it's timed as well, but Mercenary Modes is a combat mode. I'm more of a fan of the raid mode in the series. But, Mercenaries is cool. The raid mode is only in Revelations and Revelations 2. And kind of has a RPG quality to it. Okay. So. And the next game that came out was Resident Evil Code Veronica. Oh, wait. I must mention Resident Evil Survivor, which is a PS1 game that also came out, I believe, around the same time as Code Veronica. And that one, you play as this guy on an island that makes Mr. X's. It's a short game. It's a first-person shooter, kind of. It's not... It's like a light gun game, but I believe due to the events in Columbine, they scrapped the light gun part in the States. So if you live in the United States, you can't use the light gun in it. And it was okay. It had 3 different paths you could take, so that lent to a little bit more replayability, because they just like laid into the entire series, or to the entire game. Resident Evil 4 wasn't out yet, but we had Resident Evil Code Veronica. I'm probably missing a game. No? I don't know. Code Veronica was an exclusive Dreamcast game at first, and made use of the power of the Dreamcast, which is pretty cool. You play as Claire. You don't get to play as a different character, kind of. If you start out as Claire, you don't get to pick somebody else. And you're on the path to try to find out what happened to your brother in Europe. So, you're captured in Europe at some Umbrella facility. Turns out they don't take kindly to people trespassing. And they have their own prison set up, where more than likely they do unethical experiments on people that they don't like. So, who knows? That could be maybe people who criticized Umbrella. Workers that sold secrets, tried to sell secrets to other companies, you know? Well, Claire ends up there because she was trespassing. And lo and behold, there's an outbreak of a virus. So, like, she gets to go free because the guard that's watching her, who's like the head of the security in the European branch, is like, yeah, you're gonna die out there, so you just have fun. And so she gets out. She meets this guy who sounds like he's from Canada, even though he's supposed to be like from Wisconsin or something. I guess I don't know. But she meets this guy named Steve, and they fall for each other, I think, eventually. But Steve is kind of cocky and everything. We get to run into him a few times, include saving him from a room that gets locked as he moves an item. So we're exploring this island, Resident Evil 4, and it turns out that it's got its own like military training school and stuff. The person who runs it is part of like the 3 different people who founded, or he didn't directly found it, like his father founded part of Umbrella. And so turns out he's trying to take over the world too at some point in time. And he has a sister, like a twin sister. Which gets creepy. You really have to play the game. I'm not very good at the best way to describe the creepiness. It's kind of like Norman Bates with the Psycho movie. But turns out he's not all there sanity-wise, of course, because it wouldn't be a Resident Evil game if it wasn't that way.
Should have known you would.
Also turns out that Albert Wesker is the one that attacked the island and made it a virus outbreak. Then there's some stuff with like ants or something. But we're still on the island, and you have to get off the island. You have to find like little medallion things to get off the island with Steve. You get to fight a tyrant that has a really cool look to it, and you get to do something kind of like this,
Have I got a
except for
surprise
it's the cargo thing in an airplane. In that fight. And so, you make your way off the island.
I'm so
I mean,
sorry, Sherry.
there's not too much really
This is
to
taking forever.
talk about except for the fact that apparently Steve's dad was trying to sell secrets, and that's how Steve ended up there. And his mother, I guess, ended up there too, because, you know, Umbrella takes it out on your whole family. So, you do all that, you get to Antarctica, where their other base is.
Ned said her lab's not far.
And it turns out,
Wait.
because the other guy's like
Okay.
dying after your fight with him, turns out that the twin sister has been frozen for X amount of years. And
Relax, Sherry. You're gonna be fine.
in order to combat the virus, like she gave herself the Veronica
Almost there, Sherry.
T virus, the T Veronica virus. And it comes from ants somehow.
Good. The cable car.
So you do all that. You get to Antarctica. We try to drill our way out of there. And I think that's what,
Okay.
like, what's his name? Alexander has this fall.
Here you go.
So
Just hold on, Sherry, okay?
revives
Gonna
his
be just
sister or
fine.
something. And then,
Okay.
after all this,
Better check
we
everything.
get outside, we fight
No turning back.
their father, who also got infected with the virus, that they locked up. Or she locked up. And,
Do not exit until the final destination.
you fight him. She awakens and goes all crazy, and there's these tentacles that come out and stop you from escaping. And then we switch to playing as Chris for the rest of the game, for the most part. And you do some puzzles on the island,
Getting you treatment.
and then you go to
Just hold
Antarctica.
on, Sherry. It's okay.
Come to think of it, this story isn't really
For
that
your
good for
safety,
that one.
Stand clear until
I mean,
the
it's a
doors are
story and
fully
everything,
open.
but it's not.
For your safety, stand clear
I don't know.
until the doors are fully open.
Looking back at it,
For your safety,
I mean, I like Code
stand
Veronica,
clear
but
until the doors are fully open. To Nest. Enjoy your visit.
eh. So anyway, as Chris, you get to Antarctica after a while, which is cool, right? Oh, Gabriel, thanks for the host. So, Resident Evil 4,
Authorized staff only beyond this
I went
point.
the wrong way.
Guests must refrain from entering.
Resident Evil 4, not 4, Code Veronica. You're on Code Veronica, right, Leonard?
Our menu is designed for your nutritional
Yeah,
needs.
okay, so
Our latest model-
Chris goes to Antarctica, and the map's actually different based off of the stuff that you do as Claire. And I'm trying to be partially vague because really you should experience these games or watch the VODs that I have, or somebody else has, because that journey is just really good. How do you save her? Well, you don't shoot her, that's for sure. What you have to do is you have to survive. Yeah. So Chris goes there. Turns out that the sister is just as bonkers as the brother. But she has, like, crazy blood magic or something and sets stuff on fire by just flicking her blood at it. So you get to deal with that. Eventually, you get to the boss fight. You get to learn that the self-destruct for the entire
Dr.
place,
Lee, your
the
presence
password is
urgently requested by
Code
Chief
Veronica.
in the east area.
Because of course it is. And so you set the blow up the place. You have this fight. The boss fight is unique. Eventually you get like a line driver shock rifle thing and you have to shoot a flying boss. And that's that. Then you have Survivor 2, which is, I think it's just a dream. Oh, I didn't even mention Steve. So yeah, Steve dies, which is kind of sad. He gets infected with the virus, like the T Veronica virus. And what happens is that he turns into this big, like, Battletoad lizard axe wielding guy. You can't beat him, at least in this version of the game. But at the end of the game, you see Wesker. After I save Jill, what do? You just follow what the game tells you to do, man. That game is Resident Evil 5. Just holds your hand and, like, basically directs you in the path to go. You have to distract her with Sheva, and then you have to rip that giant crystal thing off her chest. Good luck. I don't remember the actual tactics, but basically it's a team, it's a co-op thing that you have to do. Which, playing in single player, you can still do it, but the moves are all telegraphed. It's there. Yeah, like Resident Evil 5's recap is gonna be easy. 6 is definitely gonna be easy. Yeah, Gabriel, it's if you saved Jill, then you're just on the right path there to be done with it. And the game holds your hand the entire time. It's not like this game where you have to try to, like, determine which way you go. It's a linear path. It basically means, you know, go to point A to point B. There's no backtracking. There's none of this business of, you know, oh, you got this specific key and now you have to go all the way back to the front of Kaijuju to unlock something. So, Survivor 2, Code Veronica, there's cockroaches in that game as a separate thing. But that's not the main takeaway. The main takeaway is that it's like a weird retelling of Code Veronica. It is an arcade game. It was made for the arcade. It's a light gun game. And it has its moments, but I don't have a light gun, so I really didn't get to experience the true way, right? Because it's got this neat mechanic where if you aim... No, the code's not Korean at all. I'll show it in a little bit. Freaking clown shoes. Where's my mouse? There it is. I don't know why it keeps doing this. I'm kind of annoyed, but at the same time, whatever. So, the key code there is just a 10 key. I'll show, since I believe the mouse cursor will show up. Maybe the game's not liking that I'm skipping. Yes, hi Gabriel. How you doing today? I understand you're playing Resident Evil 5, and you have a question about what do you do after you save Jill. Which is just... the game kind of points you like in the direction to go after you save Jill.
Resident Evil 2.
I might not be doing the extra stuff since we keep having to load the game back. Okay. So... anyway, Survivor 2 kind of feels like it's a dream. What's the boss after you save Jill? I think you have to fight,
Dispensing solution.
Wesker after that, which basically is you need to turn off some spotlights, try to shoot at him to get him distracted. Sheva will either use a rocket launcher against him or you have to use it against him. Oh, I can't use the mouse, but, if you look at the numbers here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But for some reason, they have it like negative or something. So you can't see it. I mean, you can kind of see it on that screen there, but it's weird. Yeah, like a negative, like when you do a picture and you got it's all white instead of actual color. When I first played it, it's like, what are these symbols? What is this junk? And then I noticed that it's a thing. You remember playing Resident Evil Revelations? That's a good game to play. That's on the Zenobia. We're not to that point yet though. What we're at is doing this puzzle. So, Resident Evil, we just did Code Veronica and Code Veronica Survivor. Is it Outbreak? I think Outbreak comes out next. I don't know. Water types. They're water types, man. You gotta use Squirtle against them. Or no, Jigglypuff. I don't remember what the monster types are. They're like fish things. Because, you know, you're out in the sea and everything, and that's the T Abyss virus. Oh yeah, the RE1 remake. Thank you, Leonard. So, Resident Evil 1 remake. They tell the story of Resident Evil, but they up the graphics. It came out on the GameCube. If you had a choice between playing the original game, which I think everybody should at least do that once, and the remake, you could skip the original and just play the remake. It's the same story with the exception that we get to find out who made the house. And for some reason, they've been doing this research on the T-Virus a lot longer than what the game originally led on. because the guy who made the house, like, is kind of a sad story. It's like the whole thing that Ivan did to the person. I think it was Ivan. Did to the person who built the Kremlin. He didn't want anybody else to have such an awesome building that he had the guy gouge his eyes out, right? Well, in Resident Evil, it gets even crazier. Trevor Noah's whole family was kidnapped and sequestered in the mansion. Maybe the Mayday boss, which turns out to be just a regular enemy later on. Yes, that's in Revelations. He has a giant chainsaw type thing, or saw blade, and he's annoying. Where's the other one? There's the other one. Okay, so the remake. Some additional things that the remake has. We have this character named Lisa Trevor.
5 new messages.
Yeah, Lisa Trevor.
Damn.
And apparently,
I packed my
she was infected with some form of the T-virus and became indestructible.
God.
Like, nothing kills her. We'll get to Outbreak in a little bit. So, you get to deal with that. We get to see more of Barry, being Barry, who's part of the STARS team. And he's only really in Resident Evil 1, and then kind of mentioned in 3. If you get the right ending, he rescues you. But other than that, I mean, as far as we know in the story-wise, that's the only times he shows up. So, same story as Resident Evil 1. Big old mansion in the middle of a forest. For some reason, nobody took notice of... You can hear it? Yeah. Nobody took notice of the dealings that Umbrella had. And... oh my gosh, it's a raid. Well, let's give a shout out to Odie. Welcome to the Resident Evil stream, where instead of talking about this particular game, I'm just doing kind of like a recap of the other games. Trying to speed through this as I want to play Resident Evil 3 tomorrow. So welcome, thank you for the raid. How was Warzone? Did you get the W's? Nice, nice. Well, I watched you earlier when you were having some issues, and you got the W then too. I did not do the thing I needed to do, Fred. Getting ahead of myself here. So I'm trying to rush through this game. We've spent an hour and 28 minutes playing it, and that's with the stream dying once. Oh, that's nice. And also this game keeps freezing. And I don't know if it's because it's mad at me for breaking sections or not. I still ran past the thing I needed. Seriously. So this will mark, after playing this game, it will mark playing through 21 different Resident Evil games with just 2 games left. Then I'll be free of Resident Evil. Yes. Well, no. Resident Evil 4 did not have a virus. You are... It was not a virus. It was a parasite, which I'll describe after a while, but we're talking about remake. The first remake.
So much for the weed infestation.
So Resident Evil 4 is later. Resident Evil 1 remake Great game. Everybody should play it if you're interested in Resident Evil, because it does a really good job of telling the story, much like this game.
Binary measures.
Now, one person I didn't mention in the game before was the rookie Rebecca Chambers, who shows up in Chris's story, and she helps him by playing the piano and healing him when he fights a big old plant thing that needs to die. So, yes, it did have a laboratory with bugs, but I'm not really focusing on, say, like, the bugs or the individual monsters. So Rebecca Chambers was a rookie cop, like Leon, but she was part of the STARS team. Well, we move on to the next game after RE1 Remake. It's Resident Evil 0, where we play as Rebecca Chambers, like a few days before Resident Evil 1, where she's investigating these missing people. She comes across this prison convoy that has this guy named Steve Cohen as somebody who escaped from the the first boss. We'll talk about that shortly. So trying to escape from from prison. Well, we come across a train after being chased by dogs. And as soon as we get on, and we, like, go through one of the rooms, it starts moving. And it turns out that it's an umbrella train, lo and behold, in the middle of the forest. Who would have thought? On that train, though, Steve Cohen's there, and some of the STARS members are there as well. That's cool, Odie. Lurk away. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the raid and the lurk. Every bit helps. Thank you, sir. I believe we will. I think we can make it by the end of the stream.
Thank God. The antiviral agent. Gotta
Okay,
get
so on the train starts moving. We go to the dining cart, and there's this guy who's just sitting there. Turns out that he's dead. His head rolls off, and
Class A.
we get attacked by a bunch of leeches. Yeah, Odie, have a nice night and a nice day tomorrow, man. Okay, so leeches show up. This guy sings some opera music, and then it turns out that tons of leeches. I think that's when the train starts moving too. Steve Cohen shows up and helps you, and then you team up with him
Gotta get back to Sherry.
to just try to survive on this train. Which turns out you have to stop the train because it's like its brakes are broken. So you traverse the train and end up eventually getting a hook shot, which is a grappling hook, of course, and having to stop the train. Well, when you do, I guess you do it just in the nick of time, where you crash into an Umbrella training facility. And it turns out this training facility has been like a prep school for Umbrella for like decades. And it's ran by this guy named Marcus something. It's not Marcus Spencer.
Sherry,
I don't know.
can you walk faster?
It doesn't matter. Names are only just a part of this game series, right? So, Marcus is over this place, He's got two proteges,
Attention.
William
Self-destruct
Burkham
sequence
and
initiated. Use the
Albert Wesker.
Let's get the hell out of here.
So it kind of frames the whole Wesker and Birkin being not on the up and up with Umbrella.
self-destruct sequence
Well,
initiated.
you go through the training facility, you have to fight these different bugs. The first boss that you fight was this giant scorpion, and they kind of keep the trend of bugs as bosses. I believe the second boss you fight is a caterpillar, or a centipede, I mean. Not a caterpillar.
Claire,
And then you fight a giant bat, so they kind of throw out the whole
for being so nice.
insect thing, but it's still
I'm
you know.
really glad I met you.
a
Glad I met you
animal
too, Sherry.
of some type.
But save your thanks until I get you out of this place.
I believe eventually you fight a tyrant, but I could be wrong. No,
Attention.
no, you fight Leech Man.
Use the symbol pattern to evacuate.
Because Marcus is actually like the leeches you saw. Oh, they're all controlled by leeches. By Marcus.
Attention. Self-destruct sequence initiated. Use the symbol pattern
So
to
you fight all the stuff, and you escape the training facility. Turns out it's also connected to a lab, so you have to escape a lab as well. As you're escaping the lab, you
minutes
fight
until
Marcus,
detonation.
who didn't die like they thought he did. And apparently, the leeches do not like light. So you have this, like, little battle where you wait for your companion to open up light in the place. After you finally beat Marcus and you escape from there, we get to see that Steve and I'm skipping some spots because there's just not really. Like, you go to a water treatment plant and you have to fight
Stupid thing's
hunters
locked.
that are frogs,
Hold on.
and
I think I can open it from the other side.
you know, you really don't get too much to fully go upon.
Damn it, you're turning.
I mean, it is kind of weird that the water treatment plant is underground,
Detonation.
but this is Resident Evil. That kind of weirdness happens. So, you escape. Steve gets to go run off free because Rebecca's gonna report that he died. And in the background, we see the mansion from the first game, and she's like, "Well, I guess I'm gonna go head out there." And somehow, during her trip from, the end of that game to where she is in the first game, she loses all of her weapons. Don't know how that's possible, right? But her stockade of guns and everything gone.
Sherry, you hanging in there?
And that's Resident Evil
Think we're almost out of here.
0 in a nutshell. Oh yeah, her memory too. That's right. Like, she doesn't remember
Worth a
anything
try.
from 0. She's like, oh my gosh, there's zombies, right?
Detonation.
But she basically already dealt with that. Not gonna pick that up. Oh, whoops. I forgot. Now, Resident Evil Dead Aim is another one of the light gun games, but this
What are you
one
doing?
is actually
Gotta get this train moving. I need you to stay
pretty
right here.
fleshed
okay?
out. I mean, it only takes like 3 hours to
I
beat.
promise I won't move.
You play as this guy.
Be careful.
Always.
I don't know the name. He's not a main canon person, so. But you play as this guy that is on a boat and fighting against a guy that I definitely remember the name of Morpheus, who's like some part terrorist group. I think he's part Umbrella.
Alright. That's something.
You also meet this Asian woman.
Okay. Alright, it's working.
Claire!
Oh, what? No, I think it takes a little
What?
bit longer for Dead Aim.
You're down here too?
You got a lot
Yeah.
of
But the whole place was
deposition
coming
and
down.
stuff, right? Oh look, there's Birkin. Really? Keep in mind, the game gives you a minigun to fight this thing, so... The minigun, I think, has 400 rounds. Get wrecked. Oh. Nope, 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 nope. Not gonna let that happen. There we go. So we're on the train now, and lo and behold, there's something on the side of the train. And it's Birkin.
You gotta stop using that Hope you like bullets, because I got a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the natural heals that Morpheus had, right?
For fuck's sake, how the hell are you still kicking?
So Morpheus takes like whatever T-virus variant is in that game, and he uses it on himself. So he uses the T-virus variant on himself, and he gets like Pikachu powers or something. He gets electricity powers, and he's a guy, but he gets a feminine form, and he gets natural high heals in this game, and it's so weird. But this is all happening on the boat first. Like, there's more places, but you go through the boat, and then you end up in a lab somehow. I'm pretty sure there's probably a mine or something. There's some other place too, right? But the biggest takeaway for me for that game, and these like wrap-ups of these games, it's mainly just like from what I remember and my takeaways from them. The biggest takeaway from Dead Aim was Killer Death Satellite, where the Asian person is some spy for China, I think, and she has a tracking thing in her tattoo, which is used by the Chinese government.
So, are you guys like boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yeah, she's not as interesting in this one. She was better in the original one, I think, but who knows how 4 will turn out with the remake.
One hell of a first date, though.
With the Asian, or the
Look,
Chinese death
Might
satellite
be
laser
helpful for
thing,
this ride.
they have a,
What if it's
yeah, we're just gonna skip that. We're done. They have this laser that takes down stuff, and they try to take her out with that. Of course, our character saves them. We also have Oakley wearing Mr. X's in that game. I think. That was that game, right? Oh, no. No, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's a different game. We're not up to that one. So. That's that game. Let's go to extra modes here. Let's do Runaway. Yeah, but we're gonna do this stuff for just a little bit, I think. Oh, it's the mayor. Oh no. That's really bad. She knifed him in the throat. This clearly is not canon, but that's okay. Okay. So, Dead Aim, we fight the female tyrant. Letter to the director. Do you recall the white specimens discussed in the last month's report? The researchers have named them paleheads. These specimens have undergone a special mutation. Unlike normal specimens, they have the ability to regenerate. It would be difficult to stop these specimens with weak weapons. Not impossible, I should add, but it would take some time. I wouldn't try it myself. To stop a palehead, you must use high-powered weaponry that can damage it faster than it can regenerate. My team is currently searching for a way to reliably produce paleheads. Therefore, I would like to request that double the number of subjects are sent to our laboratory next month. This is the price we must pay to secure a brighter future. Oh, good. We got regenerators. Oh, fun. What in the... Why didn't we have those in the lab? Look at that thing. It's gross. Okay, so, I might come up with more recaps later. Oh, we have an infinite knife. That's nice. And a gumball machine. So, in the Ghost Survivor thing, you have a gumball machine where you can pick one of 3 items. I believe it's 3. It might be 2 sometimes, but... Gosh, I think... Yeah, handgun ammo is probably the best. If we could shoot this thing to slow it down. I want my knife back. I want my knife back. I don't know what Resident Evil is like, man. We're not up to Resident Evil 8. We're still playing Resident Evil 2 because I want to check out what this is, and then that's going to be it for the night. Resident Evil 8 will be after Resident Evil 3. Oh, that sucks. Perhaps I should have gone for the, yeah. I probably should have gone for the grenade, right? Oh! Oh no. Okay. Oh! Oh, we're gonna die. Well, we lost the knife. That's fine. Let's keep moving. Resident Evil 5 doesn't technically have zombies because they're live people that have a parasite in them. Oh no. Oh no. No, that's it. Well, this has been fun, but we're done. That's it. Next time on the stream, we'll be playing Resident Evil 3, and hopefully it won't be freezing up. I think the, well, thank you, Leonard. Make sure you check out my Twitter, and also the YouTube channel, where I upload the VODs from this. Yeah. Next time we'll play Resident Evil 3, and I'll give more synopsises, or whatever it's called, over these games. I'll have a proper list made up. Because I think it's a good learning moment from what all I've done of how this stuff really has worked out. But anyway, have a nice night. And as always, take care. Bye.